I DoorDash this McDonald's to my apartment. That's the only time you'll ever hear me say that. And it cost $20. I made this healthy breakfast at home and it cost $3. This is dispelling myth number 1 that healthy eating is expensive. I'm sure you've heard the saying, Whole Foods more like whole paycheck. Oh, stop, I'll be here all night. Don't talk about my queen like that. Honestly, Whole Foods is one of the cheaper places to buy groceries. I know it sounds insane, but it is true. That is the cheapest place for me to find canned beans. Canned beans at the local grocery store that I used to shop at growing up are like $3, and at Whole Foods, they're 89 cents a can, 99 cents a can. It also depends on what you are buying. When you eat a whole food plant-based diet, a starch-based diet, and the majority of what you're eating is coming from starch, like oatmeal and rice and potatoes and beans and sweet potatoes and pasta. These are the cheaper foods. You can buy them in bulk. You can get a huge, ginormous bag of rice for $20 from the Asian market that will last you over a month. When you buy your veggies, buy them frozen. Don't buy things that are pre-cut. Buy things on the reduced produce shelf that are about to go bad that are actually perfectly ripe. Eat seasonally. Apples at this time of year are the cheapest. You can absolutely finesse a healthy diet on a budget and making it affordable, and I can totally do a video about that if you are interested, but it is not hard to do. And I'll tell you what, you're gonna feel a heck of a lot better when you eat this way. Your wallet is gonna be happier, you're gonna perform better at work. When you eat like this and you eat garbage, you're gonna feel like garbage. And honestly, this was more expensive. If you're new here, hey, I'm Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist, a weight loss specialist, the creator of the Slim program. Somebody who doesn't eat this stuff. It looks fake. This looks like fake food. You can make the argument it is. If you want a custom meal plan, a custom workout plan, access to me to answer all of your questions, a community to support you along the way, then check out the Slim program in the links down below. I am also the creator of Slim supplements. If you eat a plant-based diet, then you must supplement with vitamin B12 and vitamin D3. Of course, always consult your healthcare provider, but I create a clean supplement for you that is linked down below. You can't gain weight eating healthy food. This is what I used to believe. Man, was I wrong, because it comes down to a concept known as calorie density. These are both the same volume of food. One of these is grapes and one of these is peanuts. So this, man, how many calories is this? 2,000 calories, 1,500, 2,000 calories worth of peanuts. This is gonna be about 200 calories. Just because it's healthy doesn't mean that it's calorically dilute. Foods like nuts, nut butters, seeds, dried fruits, these are totally healthy foods, but they're very calorically dense. And you can't just be eating peanuts all day long and having a bowl out and grabbing them all the time. You are going to eat more calories than your body needs. You're going to store fat or you're going to put on fat. If you want to lose weight, you want to make sure that the majority of the foods that you are eating are, I'll put up a little graphic here, they are vegetables, fruits, wet starches, and legumes. When you eat these foods that are calorically dilute to satiety, if you're overweight, you're generally going to lose weight. And if you don't have any weight to lose and you want to maintain your weight, then you don't have to count calories. You can just eat this until fullness and you'll effortlessly maintain your weight. Shoot, I spilled the Diet Coke that I'm not gonna drink. Weight loss is good, weight gain is bad. This is not true. People used to think this way, honestly, because we didn't have the technology that we have now. We didn't have Human Body Pod. We didn't have that. And so we thought if you were gaining weight on the scale, it meant that you were gaining fat. But now, because we have this technology that can be trusted, it has 98% medical grade accuracy, we can step on a scale like this and it can tell us, actually, you're gaining muscle, which is the healthiest thing that you can do because muscle is metabolically active tissue, which means it burns more calories at rest. So the more muscle you have on your body, the more calories you burn, the more food you can eat, which everybody wants to be able to do. You get the Human Body Pod, you step on it, you hold this while you're on there, and it's gonna tell you whether you've gained muscle, whether you've gained water weight, are you a little bit inflamed and holding on to water, Have you gained fat? What does your skeletal mass look like? What does your visceral fat look like? What does your subcutaneous fat look like? It's gonna give you a full body picture and tell you where you're lacking muscle or where you have too much fat. It will show you what your body looks like on the inside. I just got one for my parents. Healthy Dad showing us his metabolic age is 55.
It's pretty good, huh? See, my weight's 189.8, so that's good.
Indeed, they are gaining muscle, and that number on the scale going up is a really great thing, especially as you get older, and for women especially who tend to lose muscle mass as we get older, and then our bones become less dense. Not to mention, it's going to tell you what your bones are looking like on here. I cannot recommend this highly enough. It is linked down below, and I have a huge discount code. It's FSA and HSA eligible, which means you could end up basically getting this for free. Huge shout out to Hume for sponsoring this part of the vlog. Everything is linked down below to get your own Hume Body Pod. Be careful with fruit because it has too much sugar. If anybody says this, run the other way. This is refined sugar. This doesn't have the vitamins, the minerals, the fiber that this has, the water that this has, the antioxidants, the resveratrol. This has anti-cancer and antioxidant properties. The goodness that nature gave you in these grapes could never be boiled down to this. These are two completely separate things. The way that this interacts with your body and your brain is an entirely different ballgame from this. This doesn't have all the goodness that I talked about, which means that it's going to play on your brain's signals. It's going to release more dopamine than you were designed to handle, and you are going to feel fireworks of goodness when you eat this. And you're just going to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. You're going to eat more calories than your body needs. You're going to feel sick, and you're going to gain weight when you eat tons and tons and tons of refined sugar, because it makes you eat more calories than your body needs because it tastes so darn good. This is self-limiting because there is the fiber, the water, the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants. Your body gets this and it says, thank you, this is so good for us. This is what we needed. Okay, we've had enough now. You don't get that same signaling that you get from refined sugar. So don't you ever dare boil all of this goodness down to this. Women shouldn't lift weights because women will get bulky. Not true. You would have to try extremely hard and probably use performance enhancing drugs. You'd probably have to use performance enhancing drugs in order to achieve it. And the reason why is because of this right here. So this is men, this is women. And the little pink ping pong balls that you see in here is estrogen. Women have much more estrogen than men, which promotes fat storage. This is why men don't struggle with their weight as much. There's another hormone at play here. And that hormone is testosterone. Women have a little bit, men have a ton of testosterone. And what does testosterone do? Testosterone builds muscle and burns fat. So when men exercise and eat extra calories, their body is more inclined to make it into muscle. Whereas when women eat extra calories, their body is more inclined to store it as fat, because women have to be able to grow life, to grow babies, to deliver a baby, to breastfeed, to make sure that that baby doesn't starve, so she doesn't need to eat as much. That is a biological built-in part of our nature, looking back to the Stone Ages, is that food was scarce, so if the woman didn't need to eat as much, that was a good thing, so she would store more fat. But men have so much more testosterone than women that women just cannot build the muscle that men can build. So you're not going to get big and bulky. I don't think I look big and bulky for my slim workouts. Tight and toned, baby, tight and toned. If you want a workout plan and you want to be tight and toned, get into the Slim program. And we have at-home workouts, just body weight. We have at-home workouts with dumbbells. We have gym workouts. We have follow along with me workouts. Anything you want to do, we got you. One day of bad eating won't make a difference. I used to think this. So let's say that this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Your calories are super low, right? You're barely eating anything. Then you have a cheat day. And let's be honest, people go crazy on cheat day, which means we're good. Totally fine. Do this for a living. Meal's a meal. Okay, we're not gonna stack. I think you're gonna get the point here that if we're being honest, people's cheat days end up looking like this. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is cheat day. And they end up eating so much on that day that, let's say, in order to lose weight, you need to be below what these cups are, because this is a calorie deficit to get you lower than this. Well, you end up being in a calorie surplus because of that one day. Weight loss is not day to day, weight loss is more weekly. So over the course of the week, if you're eating more calories than your body burns, you're going to gain weight. And people do that from just one day. I know it seems like, oh, what could one day do? It can put you in a calorie surplus and you'll gain weight. Or at the very least, you're in maintenance and not losing. This is sort of related to the next one that I'll chat about here, which is that your body, quote unquote, can go into starvation mode and you'll gain weight. So people think that if you're eating nothing, you're going to gain weight because the body thinks that there is a famine and so it wants to store fat and it's gonna store a bunch of fat. Not true. If you're eating less calories than your body burns, if you aren't eating anything, you are going to lose weight, point blank. You can lose weight eating anything, honestly. But here's where we have a problem. People swear, I barely eat anything. I eat one meal a day, right? I eat one meal a day, Monday through Friday. I'm barely eating anything. I have a piece of toast and that's it. Those people end up getting so hungry that this is what Saturday looks like. And just like I showed you before, they end up overeating. So starvation mode, that when you don't eat enough calories, your body starts to store fat, is a myth. When you eat less calories than your body burns, you're gonna lose weight. And when you eat more calories than your body burns, you're gonna gain weight. Carbs immediately turn into sugar. I vividly remember when I first heard this, I saw this random ad on some website. I was young, and it said, you think that whole wheat bread is healthier? When you eat whole wheat bread, it immediately turns into sugar when it hits the bloodstream. And I heard that, and it was said in such a negative way that I thought it was a bad thing. I thought, ooh, they made it sound so scary. The reality here, when we break it down, is that carbs break down into glucose. So it kind of does go like this. Carbs break down into glucose. But guess what? Glucose is your body's preferred source of fuel. That would be like saying, when you go to the gas station and you put the pump in your car, it pumps gas into your car. The horror. That's basically what people are saying when they're like, carbs just break down into sugar. It's like, yeah, that's, that TikTok sound that's like, yeah, that's kind of the point. Like, yeah, that's kind of the point. It's also amazing that I know that TikTok sound because I don't know TikTok. I'm on it. Come join me. Don't really know what I'm doing there. So glucose is not the problem. The fact that your body is getting the preferred fuel that it needs, why is that so problematic? Because people who don't have an understanding of complex carbohydrates and that the body needs glucose in order to operate are equating glucose with refined white table sugar that doesn't have any vitamins, minerals, nutrients that we talked about a little bit earlier. So when you get that glucose, you're also getting all of those great things that I showed you when I showed you the fruit. This is awesome. You get energy, you get vitamins, minerals, nutrients, antioxidants, there are anti-cancer properties. Like, who wouldn't want this? I'm really not sure how it got so twisted along the way, but carbohydrates like this oatmeal breaking down into glucose to be used to power the hundreds of trillions of cells in your body, that gets 2 thumbs up. Lift all the weights in the world, run all the miles in the world, but you cannot out-exercise a bad diet. And I used to think that you could. I thought marathon runners can't gain weight. Actually, individuals who are training for marathons are more likely to be at risk for weight gain because they, in their minds, think, I'm running all of these miles, I'm burning thousands and thousands of calories, I need to eat more food. I can have a few brownies after dinner. I ran 10 miles today, for crying out loud, right? Like, logically, it makes sense. But the reality is that exercise only burns so many calories. After that, your body starts borrowing from other processes within the body. That's why you don't sleep as well. You might not digest food as well. A lot of women will lose their menstrual cycle because the body can only spend so much energy on exercise, and then it has to start pulling from other things within the body. So you're not burning those thousands and thousands and thousands of calories that you think that you are. I know you go to these boot camps and it says, or you go to these gyms and it says like 1,000 calories burned. Unfortunately, that is not accurate, and it leads us to think that we've burned way more calories than we actually have, so then we deserve this. We need it, right? Like we're good. My body needs those extra calories, and then people end up gaining weight. The reality here is that nutrition is absolutely the most important thing if you want to release weight. And honestly, just the most important thing in general. It really, really, truly is. You need to eat less in order to lose weight. Not true. We have these cookies here, about 200 calories. And then we have this big bowl of grapes, about 200 calories. This is where the concept of calorie density comes back again to help us. That actually, you end up having to eat a larger volume of food. You have to eat more in order to weigh less. And that's because the foods that are gonna fill you up and are gonna make you feel satisfied are the healthy foods like the starches, the vegetables, the fruits, the legumes that are also low in calories. They're high in volume, high in fiber, high in water, high in nutrient density, but they are low in calories. So when you fill up on these foods and you actually eat a larger volume of food, you can eat a smaller amount of calories, which causes you to lose weight. Don't get it twisted. Don't believe that you have to eat, because some people get confused when I say you have to eat more in order to eat less. They think, oh, I have to eat more calories because I'm in starvation mode. No, we just talked about that. There's no such thing as starvation mode. You have to eat a larger volume of food and make it lower calorie in order to release weight. Like, what do you think is gonna fill you up more? This or all of this? Vitamin B12 and vitamin D3 play major roles in how your body functions every day. And if you eat a plant-based diet, you're not getting this, and you're probably not getting enough of D3, even if you do not eat a plant-based diet, because we got this from the sun. Most people are deficient. 43%, it's estimated, are low in vitamin D, or deficient. So B12 is essential for red blood cell formation, DNA synthesis, nervous system health, and when you don't have enough, you're going to do that. You're going to be fatigued, have poor concentration, mood changes. Vitamin D3 regulates more than 1,000 genes. It supports bone density, muscle function, hormone balance, lowers inflammation. So make sure that you are supplementing. These are both linked down below. Always consult your healthcare provider, but you can get my vitamin D3 and B12 clean, no GMOs, no sugar, no oil, no gross stuff, linked in the down bar. We've made it to the final part of the video, and I have something extremely important to ask you. What is your favorite variety of grape? I need to know. I have black grapes here, I have red grapes, I have green grapes, I also have cotton candy, I have jam grapes, I have muscat, I have candy drop or sugar drop. I don't know. Hopefully I will see you inside of the Slim program. I love you, honeys. See you in my next one. Woo!